Hello everyone and welcome to Crappy Reviews, home of no rules reviews. And what does no rules reviews mean? Well, it means whatever the hell I want it to mean, actually. I don't adhere to any set professional standard, and since the place is called Crappy Reviews, I figured that you would know that by now. But there's always some morons out there who don't understand what optional content is, which means you don't have to watch it. If you don't like it, go watch something else. Today I'm dipping back into the Xbox 360 library a bit by reviewing Fable Anniversary. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because, as you guys have heard, Lionhead Studios has closed, or they will be. They're in the process of that. Things are a little bit different in the UK. They can't just, we're closing down. It actually takes a little bit for them to actually complete that process, but for all intents and purposes, they are closed. Fable Legends is done, and that means probably the Fable franchise is done as well. Now, if you're like me, you probably really enjoy the Fable series. Sure, it has its flaws, but the series is so much fun and has a lot of charm and wit. I know in general people bash them for not living up to the hype that the creators, Peter Molyneux, really intended, but I think setting the bar high and failing is much better than setting the bar low and succeeding. Having Fable Legends or Fable Anniversary on the Xbox 360 is important because it puts all three of the main trilogy on that console. Fable Anniversary looks absolutely stunning, and that's because Lionhead seems to have ditched their old clunky engine in favor of the new Unreal Engine, and the game looks better than ever. Trust me when I say this, the graphics, even for a last-gen game, or actually 2 gens ago, look absolutely fantastic. While I wasn't a huge fan of the HD remakes that were churned out the past generation or so, I have to admit, I love the way that Microsoft Studios handled this task. Instead of just upscaling the old games, they totally rebuilt the games on a different engine, and almost like an entirely new game thanks to that. The detail and world of Albion are awesome to look at, and the personality of the people really shine through in a way never before seen. From a graphical standpoint, Fable Anniversary looks better than a lot of new RPGs we've seen recently, and I wish that we'd see some more of these in the future, but it looks like we won't get another Fable franchise or Fable entry, which is sad to say the least. Fable Anniversary is an RPG set in the third-person perspective, and you can interact with people, go on quests, and a lot of other typical things that you do in a RPG, role-playing game as it were. As far as combat goes, you can use melee weapons like swords, ranged weapons like crossbows, and even learn to use magic and cast spells. Very Jedi-like from Star Wars in my opinion, but fun nonetheless. And when you accomplish tasks, you can level up your character's attributes even more and gain new spells and magic and things like this. So the more you do, the more you progress, the more you level up. It's an RPG, folks. The story of Fable sees you play as a boy whose parents were brutally killed. Isn't that how these things always start? But anyway, you're left alone when a hero named Maze saves you and takes you to the Heroes Guild to be trained and looked after. Pretty typical story. You end up an orphan, then you get trained, and then you become a hero. Now the cool part of the game is you actually progress from a little kid to a teenager to a hero. It's all very inventive and intuitive. I don't want to give too much of it away, even though it's pretty much an old game, but this features one of the all-time greatest villains called Jack of Blades, and he's a real badass, but in a cool way. And now this story will keep you entertained and coming back for more. The humor, though, is what really makes this story such a fantastic ride, because you'll laugh quite a bit along the way. I know I did. I laughed at all the Fable games. They have this such humor, and it's like this British kind of wit and charm, and I really enjoy it, and some of the in-jokes, and it's just very fun. Fable Anniversary also includes the Lost Chapters add-on that was on the original Fable, but it was actually something I never got the chance to play on the original, so this is new to me, and it was all quite enjoyable. One of the other cool things about Fable is that you can choose to do things good or bad, so your choices kind of make a difference, and they actually your appearance changes, either you look good or evil depending on what you do. The morality meter was something pretty new back in 2004, but it still holds up very well today, and a lot of games kind of copy this kind of thing. Considering this game is 20 plus hours long, and it plays great, and it looks great, and it's very cheap at this point, and hopefully it comes to backwards compatibility for Xbox One, I highly recommend you guys break out your Xbox 360s. Fable Anniversary gets a wonderful 9 out of 10. Please remember to comment, rate, subscribe, rack 'em up. Here's to all you fellow chicken chasers. Remember, rest in peace, Fable. Rest in peace, Lionhead Studios. Crapgamer out.